Kristin. You are watching the program Global Talk. The latest HR industry technologies were discussed in Astana at the 11th International Conference on Human Resource Management. The conference was organized by the Kazakh National Welfare Fund, Samruk-Kazyna. It was attended by more than 250 managers of the largest Kazakhstani companies. Experts in HR and international experts from around the world as well were in attendance.
For the past 11 years, the conference became a landmark, the annual and the most anticipated event for HR professionals in Kazakhstan. It is interesting to a wide audience, from middle managers of HR to top managers of companies interested in the effective management of human resources. The conference creates favorable conditions for generating and dissemination of new ideas. It introduces a variety of innovations, which greatly intensifies the process of knowledge sharing. Participants and speakers of the conference are HR specialists from the world's largest companies, as well as experts in the field of human resources management in Kazakhstan, CIS and foreign countries. Development of corporate culture and the transformation of the national companies of Kazakhstan to a new global level has become the main leitmotif of the conference, since it is one of the strategic tasks of the Welfare Fund.
If you look at the pyramid of any business, the most important part of a business is the people. That is the basic foundation, the platform for a business. These people here, all from our HR organization, they are responsible for the people. The biggest single challenge, of course, is moving into a completely new world, from a completely different sort of history to a lot of companies, and therefore managing a process of transition from where we were to where we need to get to, is the biggest single challenge we face.
I'm here to attend this important event regarding it's 9th HR conference in Kazakhstan regarding the development of our main. I joined Kazakhstan Samruk-Kazyna Fund in March 2014, and I took the role immediately as leader of transformation. So my challenges from day one were to take the lead of this ambitious program, starting with development of the program and then implementing it. So the challenge was to find an answer to the question how we can actually do this, moving from the ministry of Samruk-Kazyna towards the sovereign wealth fund of global level.
I'm honored to make a speech actually in front of all these excellent and outstanding audience. We were invited very good partners, SAP and Samruk-Kazyna, and Samruk-Kazyna invited us to present our, let's say, achievements, or maybe even not achievements, just our vision about the business future and HR future here in the conference. The speech is about digital transformation in our business, how it impacts HR, and what should be the HR response or HR support, and what are the requirements that are changing towards HR, how to be successful in this transformation.
The trends in asset management and personal issues, as well as the influence of the HR sphere on the transformation of companies, as well as the importance of HR culture in general, were discussed at the conference. One example of an effective optimization of business processes in this area was the Shared Services Center project by the company Kaztelecom. The essence of this center is the integration of a simple, repetitive task with the company that will eliminate duplication at all other levels.
Basically, this is the first shared center in HR field in Kazakhstan, right? Among the national companies, and we all know that most of the HR function was concentrated on administration, on payroll, and etc. Nowadays, we understand that HR has to move and to be more business oriented. Right? So that's why we're using the best practices that normally implemented in the most of international companies, right? And we would like to move all the transactional functions of HR to one shared services, so that people in HR in the regions can concentrate on recruitment, on talent management, on training, on development, and other things that will help to increase the business efficiency of our personnel. What shared services can help us with is to have unified business processes in HR, right? And like I said, once we implement the changes We are not gonna talk to individuals in the regions. We can implement the changes from one point.
The leading companies of Kazakhstan sharing the vision of the labor market future noted that the global business change is not possible without decent staffing, and the main role of the development of this direction is given to the human resource management field. According to professionals, problems arise because of the human factor, but at the same time, it is the key to solving these problems, and it is those companies that appreciate and understand the importance of training, becoming successful and occupying the best places in the market.
I can give you an example. The first year we've been in transformation, the active phase of transformation within Samruk-Kazyna. Although we have those three main blocks that we defined and we announced widely, people, process, technologies. In reality, the main focus being on the processes, upgrading processes, achieving, re-engineering the way how we operate. But today, actually, attending this conference, I realized that now we understand. The topic number one is actually people. And with this realization, I am sure that we're going to move to the next level and we're going to move even faster with our transformation program, because now we're going to be focusing on developing talents and making sure that we have the best people, that we provide the best training, that we have the great leaders who can lead effectively the teams.
I think HR, if you look at it in the widest sense, should go a lot broader than that. And HR is actually kind of, people, particularly as Kazakhstan moves to be more of a knowledge economy, people are the most important resource it has. Perhaps in the future a lot more important than oil and gas and minerals. And I think it's essential that HR becomes a real part of the business and can start advising on how people can actually impact business strategy. And that's what I think the difference is here. So events such as this actually start people, HR professionals, thinking about how they can be more strategic and then actually add that to the agenda to drive business value rather than become, oh, I'm in charge of payroll or recruitment or the more common HR services.
In addition to the main sessions during the conference, the so-called business laboratories took place. These were master classes from top HR professionals, talk shows from the special guests of conferences, and the various presentations of advanced technologies in the HR industry.
Positive results in terms of the fact that people in Kazakhstan, certainly leaders and business people in Kazakhstan, want to learn from international best practice. They want to do things quickly. They're urgent in what they're trying to do. And basically, what we've been doing in my organisation has been helping them do that, giving them tools, helping them indeed understand how other companies do things, how they can learn from the good things and not make the same mistakes.
A good HR, first of all, is a department that understands the needs of the business, the needs of the organization, because HR is a support function in the business, and they need to make sure that they get the right people, that they train the right people to meet long-term objectives of the business. And this is really essential for the long-term growth of any business of any size. And in this respect, I think HR is one of the most important functions in any company, in any business.
This is an important service, therefore HR is a service provider. Getting to the customer base and an ability to communicate and to actually, in terms of each individual, treat everybody as an individual, and therefore to be able to manage their progress, manage their development, give them the tools that they need in order to do the job better than they've previously been doing it. And if you can put all that together and you can make it work, then you've got a huge sort of force for change.
We can't afford sitting back, because otherwise all these changes will go somewhere, in front of us, and will be lost, and will be forgotten. There is a good example that I made during my speech. If we look at the Fortune 500 list today, compared to the list of 2000, 52%, or more than half of the companies, they disappeared from this list. And that's probably because they were sitting back and waiting for the changes to stop. They won't stop.
What are the ingredients that makes good HR? There are lots of them. I've actually had line roles as well as HR roles, and I've gone backwards and forwards between being a business manager of thousands of people, but also HR serving it. And so I know what HR can do to the business or how HR can hinder the business. So for me, the basis of good HR is understanding the business, understanding exactly what the strategy is and what you need to do, and helping do that in different ways, whether that's talent development, whether that's paying the right people, whether that's developing future leaders. But that's really what HR is about.
As a part of the transformation to a global level, the leadership of the national companies are constantly looking for effective tools in HR, actively developing projects, allowing as much as possible to optimize resources. Foreign experts praise the achievements of the government and the largest Kazakh companies in the development and improvement of the human resource management field.
You know what I very much respect in actually what Kazakhstan is doing, and Kazakhstan government is doing, and it's well reflected within HR, it's sustainable approach. I see that Kazakhstan government has a vision, what they want from their people, from their nation, how they want to see the nation in the future, and I see that HR is really driving this initiative on the statutory level and, you know, on the entry level with small organizations as well. So that's probably what amazes me the most.
First of all, I believe great people. One of the best young generation, a lot of potential, great leadership that is actually focusing on developing the talents of the country. A lot of investments is going for developing future leaders of the country. Programs like Balashak and many others, Nazarbayev University. We have corporate university within Samruk-Kazyna. So a lot of focus on developing leaders, developing talents.
I think from what I've seen and what I've heard so far at the conference is that Kazakhstan is making quite a good progress, and a lot has been achieved in the past 5 years. But what we still see today, that the process of benchmarking local processes and local culture to international standards, to international best practices is still ongoing. It's far from complete, and in this respect, I think Kazakhstan is doing a very good job, but still could do a little bit better.
For me, it's no contradictory, I would say. You obviously have to start with the best practice, because there is so much in the world and in the CIS region that has already been done. So it's no use to start from the scratch. But you should adopt this and you should keep adapting to the challenges and the situation you are in. So for example, for Kazakhstan HR, I would say the best way is to take the best practice maybe in form of training, shadowing, and then start growing the internal capabilities and start evolving the HR processes in response to local demand and local specifics.
I would move it perhaps less from the more process side of HR and into actual how I've seen a change in culture. I've had the pleasure of working with Samruk-Kazyna for the past 1.5 years in the transformation program, and the way that they've put in a new management team, the way that that management team operates now compared to how it operated a year ago is much more in line with the top management teams that I saw when I was working in London. So I've seen a real quite quick change in culture. So for example, I saw a board meeting the other week that was conducted in English, the whole meeting, when a year ago that would have been absolutely unheard of. So I've seen some positive changes, is that I think, unlike Russia, Kazakhstan is very, very open to foreign influences, whether it's from the West or whether it's from Asia. I think they are looking around what best goes on in different countries and picking pieces. And I'm really seeing change happen. In the time I've been here in like 17 months, things are definitely changing. I think that will continue as we move up through Expo and through the Financial Centre and the other big programs that are happening as part of 2050 strategy.
Improving the HR model is one of the priority initiatives, which deals with the changes to organizational culture in accordance with the strategic objectives of the national holding. In the area of human resource management, the group of companies of the National Welfare Fund provided such innovations as development of leadership potential of top managers, a culture of active learning, self-development, and mentoring. Also in the near future, it is planned to create a center of expertise of key HR lines of Samruk-Kazyna Joint Service Center Holding. This was all for today. See you soon on Kazakh TV.